Hi everyone, this is Privet Palm Beach Presents, bringing you everything Palm Beach. We are jumping into our first collaboration with Perfectly Palm Beach, hosted by Janie Chase. Please enjoy and subscribe to our Privet Palm Beach Presents Apple or Spotify channel to follow along.
Hey everybody, and welcome to Privet Palm Beach Presents and Perfectly Palm Beach. I'm your host, Janie Chase, and I'm also the design editor of Quest Magazine and the founder of Perfectly Palm Beach. So if you're listening to this, please hit our like buttons and subscribe buttons to Privet Palm Beach and Perfectly Palm Beach and Quest Magazine for all the great information that we are bringing to you almost every week now, I think. Podcast every week or every other week. So today I'm so excited. We have David Handy in the studio, who I'd always heard about, but I had never met until recently. And he and his partner have a special events company in Boston, Palm Beach, and now Boston, Nantucket, and now Palm Beach. So welcome, David Handy, to the studio.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to be here.
So tell us the name of the company, and so everybody can find you just from the top.
That's Handy and Dallaire Events, and we started the company just about 19 years ago.
No, seriously?
We did, yeah.
Wow, 20 years goes by. Now. Blink, blink,
it's
blink,
19,
right?
20, oh no.
Yeah, don't push it.
But it's been great, and we've loved it, and we love this industry, and it's just like a really fun. We're planning parties for people, making memories.
That's the happy thing. People
so great.
love parties. So let's start from the very beginning. Right. Tell us how you got started in this part of the business.
Actually, out of college, I went to work for a few different catering companies and a few different hotel companies.
So you were interested in hospitality?
In hospitality. My degree is in hotel restaurant management.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was the route that I wanted to go.
Okay.
And then working in different hotels and a few different larger catering companies, I like the events side of it more than the catering side of it. So a few friends were getting married, and they said, "Could you help me plan my wedding?" And I said, "Yeah, I've never done that, but I think it'd be fun."
Yeah.
Happy occasion. I did it, and then I did another one, and then I did another one. And here we are, almost 20 years later.
And those were in Boston?
In Boston and New York.
And in New York. Okay. So I think the event business itself has changed considerably as corporations, when you were beginning,
Absolutely.
Corporations were hiring and doing a lot of entertaining. Since COVID, remote working situations, budgets, blah, 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 things are different.
Yes.
So tell us where the business is now. And then let's get into some real specifics about events that you're working on. But tell us how it's kind of changed over the years.
I would say, obviously we all went through COVID and dealt with all of that,
right.
In terms of weddings being 200 people and then bringing them down to 20 people.
So sad.
It was. And I feel
that
like
was sad.
It was a sad moment. And
Let's
I feel
not
like
have that happen again.
I agree.
Yeah.
We were able to reschedule a lot of the weddings. A lot of the clients wanted to wait, the couples, for, when they could have all their friends and family celebrate. Some of them got married earlier, in a small ceremony at the chapel or one of those different type of places.
Right.
And then they still waited for the big celebration to happen when you were able to kind of have larger groups back together again.
I know. That sort of happened in my family, where my older son got married in New York City. We watched it on Zoom. Oh God, that was tough. That was not easy. And then a year later, we had a big celebration down here.
Right.
For various different reasons. But yeah, that's kind of what people had to do, right?
Yeah.
I hated
I'm
that.
glad that everyone could be together and celebrate at that point.
Right.
Which I feel like
it meant a lot. I mean, everybody was happier given that circumstance. It was like, wow, we waited so long for all of us to be together. So it made it even sweeter.
Right. And there were no regrets on the RSVPs for any of the weddings. Everyone's like, I want to go to a party. I want to be out and about.
Exactly.
I want to see my friends and family. So It was nice.
Yeah. So mostly you're talking about you do mostly weddings.
We do a large portion of weddings. We do a lot of private parties, dinner parties, cocktail parties, and a lot of our clients are legacy clients. So we'll do one daughter, then we'll do a son, then we'll do his or her corporate party, dinner parties, different things
All
like
en
that.
famille. We like that.
Yes. And they know how we work and I know how they work and, there are little things that they like and they don't like. We really want to make this a fun process for everybody. I always say this is our full-time job, not yours. So it's nice to, make it a fun and exciting experience with all of our clients. We don't take many weddings a year or many events a year in general. And we
What
want
is
to
your number that you do take?
we do about 10 weddings a year total.
Okay.
And we want to make
But
sure
aren't
that
they mostly in the summertime?
mostly in the summer and now with the Palm Beach season coming in.
Oh, right. So you're busy all the time.
So yeah, so that's going to be
That's
we're
most of the
excited.
calendar year, actually, because it's warm here all the time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So events you're saying have not changed or they have changed?
I would say after COVID, they've changed a bit. I feel like the style of the event has changed. It's a little less formal than it used to be.
Okay, so that's interesting, right?
People are doing a longer weekend. So they used to do
Mhm.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Now we're doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Well, why is that? Because people they go to these crazy
They're
destinations.
coming to Nantucket. They're coming from beach. They're coming from California. They're coming from all over.
Mhm.
And a lot of our clients, if everyone's coming in on Thursday, they want to have something to do for them on Thursday. We don't want to overtake everyone's whole weekend to being wherever they are.
Right.
But, we might do a 2-hour cocktail party from, 5 to 7. If it's Nantucket, maybe it's Cisco. If it's Palm Beach, maybe it's, the Colony or one of those different type of places where it can be a 2-hour type of thing.
Mhm.
Come and say hello and then go to your dinner reservation, go out on your boat, do whatever you want from there.
Mhm. How do you really find the uniqueness in every event? That must be a challenge because particularly in a place like Nantucket, which, you're on an island, you really have to have your vendors like really in place and you have to have access to them and they have to have inventory. So how do you make everything so much? I mean, every event I know that you've done and that I hear about that you guys have done is so over the top, but in a really good way and really unique and memorable. So what's that secret? What's your special sauce?
It's really collecting our vendors over the past 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we have vendors all over the country that we work with. And you could say, I want an elephant from Newport for a bra or whatever we're doing. And we have those people.
That's so funny.
And listening,
I love that.
but like listening to our clients as well, because I always say, my job is not to tell you what you want. It's help you get there.
Right.
So we have conversations, open dialogue of your likes and your dislikes. And then we put together the story that we think will be the best fitting for you. And then it's a collaboration between myself, our full team, all of our vendors, when we get to the production side of it, that everyone's on the same page, everyone feels heard and listened to.
Mm-hmm. You're like a shrink and a doctor combined.
All of those, actually, yes.
So, okay, I just have to know, like, what's the weirdest request you've ever gotten? Because I think the things that you do are really pretty. They're really pretty over the top events that take your breath away. People walk in and they go, oh, wow, how did he do this?
We really try to make it beautifully understated, but with an over-the-top element that doesn't say, I'm spending a lot of money on this, but it's just beautiful. We never want someone to walk in and be like, wow, their flower budget must have been outrageous. We want it to be, wow, their flowers look spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
Not how much they spent, but the overall aesthetic of it.
Right. What's the biggest event you've ever done? How many people?
400-person wedding.
That's a big one.
It was a big wedding as a family out of Houston.
That's a big one.
It was
I
on
had
Nantucket.
300. That was a big wedding.
That's a big wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
400's a lot. That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Where was that?
In Nantucket at a private club.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
We do the Boys and Girls Club, which is on Nantucket every year. That's about 650,
That's a lot of
which is a
people.
great event. A seated
Wow.
dinner.
And every year you have to kind of like ratchet it up just a little bit more, right?
The day after the event, we're always talking like, this is what, like we did this year. What are we doing next year? Because a lot of the clients that are there are a lot of our clients that we've done weddings and parties and corporate parties for.
Right.
So they're always saying, we can't wait to see what you come up next year.
Little bit of
I'm like, me too.
pressure. Yeah, me too. Exactly. Okay. So any disasters? Have there been any? I mean, I'm sure at the last minute you're panicking about something.
And if event planner ever says, or event designer ever says, oh my God, nothing ever goes wrong, that's a complete lie.
Yeah.
There are things that
There's
go wrong
always
in
something.
events, in weddings, and it's on the back end that, our team and myself deal with. And it doesn't become a problem. We kind of catch it right from the beginning.
So there hasn't
Um,
been any major disaster like, oh my God, the boat forgot to bring over, blah, blah, blah.
we actually had this, and we had a DJ that we flew in, a big DJ, and we flew the person in, and I said, we have to connect you with our AV team. And this particular person was very particular on handling it themselves. And I said, well, I just need to at least connect you because there's a lot of pieces. Let me look at the studio. There's a lot of pieces that if one thing doesn't fit, none of it's going to work.
Right.
So they get there, and of course it didn't work. We realized it 3 hours in advance. And when they got there, and we were able to fix it by flying something in from Hyannis
Oh, really?
into Nantucket.
Oh, wow. You got
And no one
lucky.
knew anything on the flip side of it. So,
Wow, you're really lucky. You're really lucky.
and it was
Actually-
about the relationships that we've had. It was a vendor that we had in Hyannis who does a lot of equipment like that.
Right.
And it was an older piece that they needed.
And you do the music, the food, you sort of do everything.
With the liaison between all of the vendors and the client.
Right. And there's never been a food disaster?
Okay. There was a food disaster once where we worked in a hotel in a certain market that sent out was looking at the menu cards, and I said, what are you looking at? And they said, well, we have chicken, not beef. And I said, you've had this menu card for whatever the BEO is signed for this type of protein. And there was a big mix up in the back of the kitchen earlier that day, and someone pulled the wrong pull sheet for an event. But again, we fixed it. No problem. No one knew.
Amazing. You're like Superman. Really unbelievable. I can't believe that because in most businesses, somebody can actually point and go, oh God, that was such a disaster. Even if it's finance, like, oh, I shouldn't have bought that stock, or, you know what I mean? Or this M&A deal fell apart, or, something. I mean, I've been to so many events here and so many weddings on Nantucket. I mean, one of my kids got married on Nantucket, so as you well know. And, there's always something like, I don't know, there weren't enough chairs. The person one of the worst things I've ever seen in an event personally is when a guest comes early and moves all the place cards on the table.
Oh, that happens all the time.
I find that really, I've seen it twice. Yep. I'm astounded by it. One was at a wedding and one was at a bat mitzvah. And the wedding particularly, I know the host, she bent over backwards and really took great care of who should sit with who, and, oh, that'll help that person and that'll make a really great business connection. They really thought about it. They were passionate about it.
Absolutely.
And when somebody moved on, I was like, oh, come on, that's just really uncool.
It really is.
That
happens actually quite often, and it will happen at the table. And we've had a few instances where, as guests are entering the space into the ballroom or the tent, wherever it's going to be, our production team is always there to help people find their table, answer a question. One of our team members was saying she saw a couple moving place cards, but to another table. They thought but their escort card said table 2. Now they're not going to be at table 2 anymore.
Right.
So we had to kind of go around and correct that quickly.
Oh my God.
For people.
Oh my gosh, Summers, you have to be taking notes on this because, it's just amazing when that really does happen. Incredible. Yeah. Or the food comes out cold, or there's always something, right?
There is something, and we work with, again, this goes back to the vendors. We work with such great vendors. In terms of catering, we work with really great team in Nantucket and Palm Beach. We work with great florists in Nantucket, Palm Beach, in Boston, and knowing their expertise, knowing our level of service to our clients, and just knowing, what could go wrong, and figuring out how that could go wrong. And if it's telling a client they can't do something, our client wants to do thinly sliced filet instead of having just a beautiful 6-ounce filet.
Right.
It's going to be cold. Doesn't matter who the chef is or who the kitchen is.
Right.
It's going to come out cold because you're
Correct.
losing the temperature.
Right.
And it's having those conversations with the clients and saying, this is what's going to happen if we go down that road.
Mm-hmm.
So they're clearly understanding, why we can't do it.
They listen to you. I don't know. There's something I don't know. There's some people that just get difficult women to listen to them.
Mm-hmm.
You have that makeup. You've got this calmness to you, and I can see how somebody would go, okay, if David says it's okay, it's okay.
And we build those relationships with our clients.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's really, it's, we're there for them. Our clients are texting us on a regular basis. It's obviously very professional, but it's very like, hey, I have a quick question. Like they'll ask me about a shoe choice, or like the daughter is doing this for the wedding dress. What do you think of this for my dress, or the mother of the bride dress?
Right.
So kind of getting involved in a lot of those things as well.
Right. They end up
Um,
trusting you about
yeah.
everything. So has there been an idea that's been presented to you guys where you're like, oh no, trust us, we can't make that happen? Or do you go, okay, this sounds great, we'll make it happen, even if somebody wants I mean, I've got this vision in my mind of a party that I want to have at some point in my life, maybe for my next big milestone birthday, where it's sort of a meandering table through the woods.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love that.
I mean, just so beautiful and different,
Yep.
and I don't know if I'll be able to pull it off, but um, is there ever been a request where you're like, I don't think we can do that?
We very rarely say no. And
Yeah.
I always say, like, we can find a solution or a way to get there. It might not be the exact way, but, we can give you 85% of that vision that you had. And this is the
Mhm.
15% we can't because of whatever logistics would be.
Right.
We have a lot of people that want to do big parties on boats, and boats are a big thing, obviously. And very few boats hold a lot of people if you're out on the water. And,
Right.
and it's usually those bigger boats aren't the most desirable boats that people want to be on. People have these big images of, Miami Beach and these big mega yachts and having 200 people partying in the harbor.
I hate those, particularly the boats that go out and you're stuck on them for my husband's
Yeah.
like, we're stuck on this boat for 4 hours.
We're not coming back until.
We have no choice. You
Exactly.
just have to eat and drink, and it's like, oh my God. I don't like that personally, but I guess a lot of people do.
Yeah, we've had requests for that.
Mm.
Ways around that, we've done smaller parties. We've talked about doing kind of like Gilligan's Island sunset
That's so
cruises.
cute.
Everyone's kind
Yeah.
of dressed up. It's a smaller group, more intimate. Kind of just fun things.
Survivor.
Survivor, those type of things. And it's kind of fun and different.
Yeah.
People love an activity.
I know.
And
They love the interaction.
yes,
It's all about an experience, right?
exactly.
A lot of younger people really love that. So what's the prettiest party that you've ever done? Can you say, do you think?
I can. I mean, I feel like all of our weddings that we do, they have a special uniqueness to them
Mhm.
because we're listening to our clients. And a part of it is a bit me not wanting our website to look like Nantucket's all blue and white and Palm Beach is all green and
Yes.
pink.
Right.
And, a lot of clients love hydrangeas and for Nantucket and whatnot. But there's hundreds of types of hydrangeas, hundreds of ways to display these hydrangeas, tons of different types of arrangements, different color matches and patterns that we could do. So even if it's a blue and white wedding with hydrangeas, 5 different weddings could look completely different in that way.
Mhm.
And I feel that way when we do Boston or we do, Palm Beach, that making it different and unique, because I don't want to see the same pictures all the time, but you have maybe come to 3 of the weddings that we've done, or you're going to be coming to 4 more. And if you see the same thing over and over again, it's going to be very similar to, oh,
Yeah.
wow, is this a one-trick pony, or
Yeah,
what's he
right.
doing here?
Right. So where do you think the event business is going as we move forward? Do you think they're getting bigger, intimate?
I would say this year, and especially now moving forward to next year, we see them getting a little larger. So 175 is usually like a nice spot for a wedding.
Mhm.
This year and into next year, we're doing 250.
You're booked that far out
We're booking 2026 now
for weddings.
for weddings.
Okay.
And then we have our repeat corporate clients that they have the
Mhm.
same weekend, every year.
Right.
They get slotted in.
Are you
Um,
mostly just in that in the Boston, Palm Beach, Nantucket triangle, or do you do Davos? That would be good.
Where, I'm sorry?
Davos. Or something different.
Oh.
Some big corporate event like
Yeah,
every major CEO goes to Davos for the big economic conference.
Oh, yes. So we would do. We never say no. It's always a conversation. We've done weddings and events in New York before. When we started doing more in Nantucket, it didn't make sense to do New York as well as Nantucket, only because of the travel time.
Mhm.
For Nantucket, we're doing a week-long build-out, a week and a half long build-out. With New York, it's a little different. So the timing didn't work as well there.
Mhm.
But if our client come to us and said, my other daughter's getting married in
In Paris, let's
Paris,
do it.
we would do it.
Yeah, right, exactly. So I want to get your like tricks and tips, like your top 5 things for our listeners. But I'm curious just a little bit more about you. What do you do when you're not doing events? Because you can't do those every minute of the day,
No.
right?
We love this. We have a dog, Nigel Stanley Tucci. He's a Yorkie Bichon.
I'm so happy that you brought that little guy up
Oh my God.
because, oh my God, he's so cute. And that name, forget it.
Yeah. And he's
Call him all 3 names.
only one we're upset with him.
So
we call
funny.
him the chief party pup on our website.
Yeah, I
He's
see
in
that.
our
He's so
office
cute.
every day. He travels with us. So we spend a lot of time with him. We members of a boat club, so we go out on the boat a lot, which is kind of really fun. In Boston, Nantucket, and Palm Beach.
Mhm.
We
You
love
kind of
to-
do the Reed and Barton thing?
Yes, yep. With the Barton Gray, which we love
Barton
it.
and Gray. What's Reed and Barton? Oh, that's like a silver company, right?
Yes.
Okay, sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, Barton. I want to give them the right plug.
Oh yeah, no,
It's
Barton Gray, and they're
Barton
great.
and Gray. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we love to have house guests. We love to entertain. And we love to throw dinner parties, host dinner parties, whether on the boat or at our home. And really just enjoying kind of the time we have off and friends and family.
Are you doing a book?
It's in the works. It's not. I'm going to rephrase that. It's not in the works. It's in the talks. It's something that I've wanted to do
That
for a
you
while.
want to do, right?
Yes, and we've been talking about it. And I would say over the next year, it'll probably happen.
Good. Yeah, I can
We have
see
the
a book in your
stories, we have
future.
the images, and we kind of
Right.
putting it together.
Right.
And that's kind of the next steps of where we are.
Right. Because there's always another generation to educate who you are.
Totally.
You know what I mean? What you do. So it's important to kind of like have that tabletop book. Right. Okay. So give us some tips and tricks. Like when you're putting an event together, like give us your top 5 things.
I say the number one when we're working with a client, no matter who the client is, what's the budget? Clients come to
Yeah,
us and say,
Let's start with the money.
let's start with the money because
Yeah.
that's going to be the biggest downfall
Right.
of the whole thing.
Right.
We have clients that will come to us and say, whatever my daughter wants, whatever my son wants,
Yeah.
no problem. I
Mhm.
said, it doesn't work that way. I'm going to put a budget together based on their preferences, and we'll review it as a team. If there's still no questions or no problems, great, we'll move on.
Mhm.
I think that's the number one because 6 months into it, I don't want to be having a conversation with a parent of why we spent this much money on something.
Yeah, men never know how much that stuff really costs. So when you come back with a big, huge bill, they're like,
Especially flowers, that's a big one.
Yeah.
The wine bill is never a problem.
it's
Flowers
flowers.
bill is always the
Well,
problem.
what's the name of that the store on Main Street, the flower store on Main Street, on Nantucket? Or
Flowers and Chestnut.
I'm sorry, Flowers on
Yes.
Chestnut. Yeah, they did the flowers for our wedding. My husband was like,
Michael over there is and that's who's our go-to florist in
it's so beautiful.
Nantucket.
They
He's
did an amazing
fantastic.
job.
Yeah.
But it was, it's pricey.
It is. And I feel
Yeah.
like, when you're buying a flower arranger for your home, it's very different. You're buying one instead
Right.
of 25.
Exactly.
So that's, I think, the number one thing.
Well,
getting
and then
those
the
numbers.
altar where the kids are getting married.
Personal
and
flowers, everything.
rehearsal dinner, all that stuff. Okay, so budget is the first one.
We're going to be the first one. And then really just being open and honest. So I prefer when a client says, I don't like that. Because then I can say, why don't you like it? So we can move on to something different. And
Right.
we know when we're going to the drawing board, we're presenting something to you that's more in line with what you're looking for.
That's fair enough. Okay, I like these so far. Budget, honesty.
I think that's a big one. I think having a realistic expectation on timeline. Some clients will come to us and say, we'll tell our clients in advance, this is kind of our timeline for the next year and a half.
Okay.
Some clients come to us and say, we're really busy next year. Can we do a lot on the front end of it? Great.
Okay.
And then other clients say, can I do the bare minimum right now and do more on the back end? And there are certain things that can wait and there are certain things that can't wait.
Okay.
So just having that conversation with them about setting everyone's expectation when certain things are done, when deadlines are due. I have a deadline. Everyone has a deadline.
Well, in terms of
decisions need to be made.
invoicing, you want to have that anyway,
Exactly.
right? Yeah,
And decisions need to be made.
definitely.
Vendors need to be booked.
Definitely.
So
right.
I think that's another one.
Okay. So that's 3.
That's right. I would say embrace the really fun process of it. It should not be stressful.
I agree
if
with
it's
you 100%. It's supposed to be
stress-
fun.
It should be fun. And if it's
Yeah.
stressful, there's a reason why it's stressful.
Mhm.
We gotta get to that of why it's stressful.
Right.
Um,
I think it's only really stressful if the money's really tight and you're like, oh my God, you're spending so much more than I wanted. Or if there've been 150 divorces and it's like, can't put Susie there because she's going to see Thomas there. And blah, 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 blah. And I have been in those situations before. It, where there's a lot of divorced people and they don't want to even be direct in the eye shot
Right.
of their ex-spouse, right? That becomes that adds more stress.
And that actually brings me to one of my other points is the seating. Let
Yeah.
each respected family deal with their groups of friends and family.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have clients that will want to kind of, the couple want to seat everybody. I feel it's much better for you to seat your guests,
Mm-hmm.
bride to seat her guests, the groom's family to seat his guests.
Yes.
You assign the tables. Your tables are 1, 7, and 8,
Mm-hmm.
and these are what you have to work with. And that way, there's no why was I sitting here, or everyone is kind of takes ownership of their own friends and family.
Right. Okay, good. Okay, 4. Can you come up with a 5th one?
I think so. Enjoy the evening or the weekend. Don't look at the time, because the time's going to go by very quickly. And, we're there and our team is there to really make sure that it goes off seamlessly. Everyone's having a great time and everyone is where they need to be when they need to be where.
Right. You're the producer.
We're the producer of
Right.
it.
So what about a checklist? Checklist is good too, right?
A checklist is great. And
Yeah.
some people are very checklist driven.
Mm-hmm.
We don't necessarily, we have our own internal checklist. We don't necessarily give our clients a checklist. I feel for sometimes it makes them feel a little stressed if they're 2 weeks late on something.
Mm-hmm.
But it can be 2 weeks late. It doesn't necessarily need to be that. So it's
Right.
a little fluid. So we have a conversation with our clients, and every client is a little different. So we kind of come up with something that fits their kind of stamina through the process of this.
And because you have so many repeat clients, they probably don't look at these events as being stressful. They know they can count on you. You've got it covered. You're producing everything. You're covering all the details. You've never left anything out. I mean, some people are just like super control freaks, but mostly I would imagine it would be, they're going to just leave it in your hands, right? Yeah.
And it really works too. It's so within the company, obviously Handy and Dallaire, Donald Dallaire, my husband and business partner, his background is theater. So he's a theater major. He's worked for different theater companies. So he's
on
really
stage or behind the scenes.
both, actually.
Good for him.
So, and he's a singer, but not that he sings at weddings, but but he is really driven on the production side of it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll be in a meeting, and like you said earlier, a client will say, "Can we do this?" I'm like, "Absolutely. I think it'll be beautiful." And we get home or back to our office, and he's like, "How the heck are we going to do that?" I'm like, "We'll figure it out." So he's the
I love
production
that
side of it.
attitude.
I'm the design side of it. And then Sarah, who is a rock star in our office, she's kind of the person that keeps it all together.
Right.
She keeps all of our clients on track. She's so organized. And she's really just a great addition. She's been with us for about 3 years now. And she came from the event planning industry as well. But
And where is she? Is she on Nantucket? Or where
she's
is she?
based in Nantucket in Palm Beach part-time.
Okay. So how many events for people that are listening and they're thinking, oh my God, David Handy, I would love David Handy to do my event. How many clients do you have a year, do you think? I mean, how many events do you kind of...
We'll do 10 weddings a year.
Mm-hmm.
Max.
Mm-hmm.
Could be 7, could be 9, depending upon what each wedding is.
Right.
If it's something is a large scale wedding and I need a 2-week block, we won't schedule something in that.
Right. Well, you said that at the beginning of the interview, but I mean, like, how many other events can you add to your schedule? So how many do you do in a whole
I would
season?
say we probably, in a full year, because we have the Nantucket season and the Palm Beach season, we'd probably do about 30, 35 total. And that's corporate events, dinner parties, weddings.
Right. Wow. That's a lot. You're a busy guy.
And we have a great team behind us as well. And I think that also what makes everyone so successful. And I think one thing that sets us apart is you work with Donald, Sarah, and myself. The production team is there and they're doing all that portion of it.
You're accessible.
But we're accessible. We're the ones you're meeting with on a weekly or daily basis or whatever it's going to be.
Right.
We're the ones answering the emails, the phone calls.
Right. It's not 100 people on your staff. So they really get to you and you're the genius.
Exactly.
And people want that.
But yes.
Yeah. You're the genius. So is there something that you have a wish list? Do you think like, wow, to do the Oscars or I don't know, something that is just or the correspondence dinner in DC or something. I don't know.
I think the Oscars would probably be one of them.
Right.
There's a really great fundraiser here in Palm Beach that it's a really great event to attend every year. Potentially maybe something along those lines. But I feel like any of these, we love doing corporate events because I feel like the weddings are so fun and so wonderful. And the corporate event, the fundraiser is just so different because we're working with committees and gala chairs and things like that. And everyone has different ideas. And it's a totally different vibe than a wedding.
Completely.
And, we're given a number.
For somebody who's run galas, it's a real and weddings, it's very different.
It is. And, with a gala, you're giving a budget. Yeah. And we have to make it all work within this, in this pie.
And they have to make money.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay, so tell everybody how they can find you and your social media handles, your website, all that good stuff.
Great. So the website's Handy and Dallaire Events.
Spell Dallaire.
Dallaire.
Got it. Okay.
Our
Handy.
Handy.
Yep.
And then our Instagram is Handy Dallaire Events. Facebook, Handy and Dallaire Events. And our Pinterest, Handy and Dallaire Events.
Yes. Your Pinterest site is beautiful. Pinterest is huge, isn't it?
It's the number one.
I think that's so interesting.
I believe for social, wedding, corporate, nonprofit, all of it, because you could, type in a pink cactus or a whatever it is.
So true.
There'll be 500 images or 5,000 images.
That's right. Right. So if you type in blue and white wedding on Nantucket, oh my gosh, what comes up?
We actually have a person that deals just with the Pinterest. It's out of a marketing company.
Wow.
That just deals with Pinterest because there's.
You mean they upload all your images all the time?
Upload all images. All the keywords are in there.
Are you updating that all the time?
It's updated, I think, 5 times a day.
Pinterest is. Wow.
Because it's not an Instagram story. It's not a huge, big, long text. It's more of beautiful blue and white hydrangeas on Nantucket, beautiful pinks and greens here in Palm Beach, or doing it that way. So it's all about the keyword search and all the optimization for it.
It's so crazy. I'm a Pinterest addict.
Oh, yeah.
I can put in Manuel Canavas pillows, or something like that. And it's just amazing. It's better than Etsy. It's better. It's just.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. It's just so beautiful to look at all of those images all the time.
And now you can click with, say you love those pillows, you can click that link and it'll probably go right to their website or someone's website. You can buy them or
right.
We deal a lot with that as well, which is great.
Exactly. Well, because you're sort of looking for the best kind of price.
Totally.
In a way. Right. And well, now you can buy clothes on Pinterest. It's just amazing what comes up.
Everything.
If I just put in green and white, dresses come up, decor comes up. Books come up. It's sort of insane. Glasses. It's crazy.
When we do our design decks for our clients, we use a lot of our own images, but sometimes we don't have an image that's exactly what we're looking for. So we'll use it on our design deck, and obviously give credit to whoever the credit's for, but really use those images of like we're doing a big thing in Nantucket, which is a jungle disco, and
really like a party,
a big party, yeah.
Fun.
And we're finding some really great images for that. And just so because we want to make sure that our clients are getting the full idea of what it could look like. And we do renderings and, layouts and schematics and all that, but it's nice for them to kind of see.
Like architects.
Partially, yeah.
Yeah, you really are. Wow, incredible. So you're going to do this for the rest of your life.
That's my goal.
And just get some books out there.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Well, you're just so delightful. I'm so happy I finally got to meet you because I know we've been following each other on social media for a while. And I don't spend much time on Nantucket anymore. I used to spend, half my summer there. And one of my kids got married there, so I was there a lot. But since I live Palm Beach and Nantucket, this is like Nantucket.
Oh, it is. It's the Nantucket of the South. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And I need to go someplace to relax after this season. I can't go there and do the same thing. Oh my God, I can't imagine. Anyway, well, you're just delightful and wonderful, and I'm so happy I got to meet you. And really, your events are so spectacular and unique at the same time. And I've never heard one negative thing about you. I've never read one negative review of any event that you've ever done. I think that's really unusual.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think that you guys are like the kings of it. You've got it covered. You really do. So I'm really honored that you took the time to come talk to Privet Palm Beach.
Wonderful. I'm excited.
Presents and Perfectly Palm Beach. And I'm so glad you're in Palm Beach now.
We're excited to be here.
Yeah, good. Okay.
Please subscribe to our Privet Palm Beach Presents channel on Apple or Spotify to make sure you don't miss an episode, and check out theprivet.com to see the rest of our offerings. Privet Palm Beach Presents is produced by Team Privet, including Summers Laffey, Will Cannon, our friends at Mass Inbound, and music by Kevin MacLeod.